Well, if you're going up to the Maritime, give them up some white job.
أخذهم كانوا يمكن بموتين فقط.
Tron could give me up.
دانين ما جات.
ما داخل نوكي بيوم.
كلنا هني أنتم ما جاوا اللي هي مش ما جاوا اللي ويجي كمان فاين. الشيء اللي هو
But drum McCon to get.
You're being very political. Somebody actually said to me at one stage that, you know, Arklow is a straight seafaring town. Vincent McCallum, they felt this was certainly lost Arklow.
Well, Liam, I suppose one must be absolutely fair with them, direct to you now. At the turn of the century, Arklow was the most important seafaring port in this country. Jimmy Till is on my left there, but however, the greatness of the people of Arklow and the seafaring tradition, I will leave for other people to expound upon. But quite honestly, it would be very important to say that at the turn of the century, while it was the most important seafaring port with the true tradition of shipbuilding and fishing, we actually sent people like from the families of White, Hagan, Dixon. I'm wearing the Fair Isle sweater knitted by Mrs. Dixon, and the Burns, and so many people to actually teach the people of the Aran Islands how to use the fishing method to the best gain. In 1976, it was very sad to realise that we had only 5 fishing boats in Arklow. We have seen a tremendous amount of industrialisation and great big redundancies and all kinds of terrible undesirable situations for our town. But thank God we now look back to the sea and its tradition. We now have 24 fishing boats in Arklow. It's a sad thing to say to you that 4 fishing boats repossessed by BIM in recent times were actually sold to outside the state. And all we have had from BIM in Arklow is a second-hand ice plant that is not living up to its desired kind of, but that, however, hopefully it will come on stream. We have, unfortunately, not got here tonight Captain Jack Lee, who was the former Commodore Skipper of Irish Shipping, who actually, and it's appropriate at the time, that's in it now, he came out of retirement to actually turn around and take a 500-ton broken-down ship, the same Cullen Cave, to work for 18 months supplying food in the Atlas.
I met Captain Lee when how old is that now?
Well, he's about 82 now.
Marvellous man below there in Arklow one night, and he sailed this ship up into the middle of Biafra with supplies, and that man knew shipping. He says, in your blood and bones, Jimmy Till. It's in the blood and bone of you lot down there.
Yes, indeed. It's on the boat building side, going back to 121 years to 1864.
Yes.
And I'm sure that there were other people building boats besides Tyrrell before that.
Yes.
So there is a long history of boat building and fishing. There's a lot of history as well with people going to sea as a career, both in the home waters of Britain and Ireland and further afield.
I got the impression reading a piece by John Healy recently that there was a lot of mourning going on about Irish fishing, and unnecessary mourning at that. Jimmy, do you know about that now?
There's, well, from the boat building end of it, unfortunately, we're only repairing fishing boats at the moment because there's no new building going on. I find there's a lot of headlines to be made on some of the boats that are being repossessed. I think one has to judge them, each one on its merit. Although there's a repayment deficit of £6 million currently on the fleet, I feel very strongly that some of the younger people in their 20s and early 30s are not getting the opportunity to go to sea and buy their own boat. There's no, on the one hand you have boats coming back, You're talking anything from £300,000 upwards.
But that's a hell of an investment, Jimmy. I mean, who's that young fella 40 years? Where's he going to find that money?
Well, he's already got his ticket. He's already saved 5% deposit.
Yes.
He will get a state grant of 25%, and a PO grant with the EC of another 25%.
So the money is there.
The money's there.
You see, you've about 10 years now, you fellas. The fishermen of Arklow and of Ireland have about 10 years before the Spanish come in and they're cleaning out.
That is
Well,
correct.
there
Is that
won't
not
be
so?
any claim. No, that would be very unfair to presume. In 10 years' time, the actual postponement of their allocation of numbers to come into our waters has been extended. But just to change for a second from the actual fishing, I think it's very important not to let the occasion die tonight without telling you that Irish shipping, who's Captain Jack Lee Cassie here, but has been replaced by another Tyrrell family in Arklow who have 15 merchant ships employing into the hundreds out of Arklow port. People have got to look at the sea in Arklow for their future, because the industrial thing and its demise in recent times has left us without anything else to look to. And thanks be to God we have the sea and we have the Tyrrell on both sides of the river and the fishing industry. So, in Maritime.
Finish my chat. Right. Who's put a ledge on people Sonamish? My chat counts the whole on Gura, every people real. My ledge on Eastgurum, nor of the shoals of heaven. I get down the stars. You know, should be able to know it's not. And says it's coming from the stars. Cancers are one of the great songs, the shows of heaven, and of course that would be appropriate to Arklow on Invermore, but they could sing it. And Owen Borwish, the vocal trumpet, for Igilmonton, down from Igilmore Doyle and stuff, for Eddie Fitzgerald Nachman Cassidy, Eddie or Arklow Pottery, that's right. And of course that was in its time a great and successful venture, is it still?
Well, in the early days, you know, in tried RTE, we went to one time that we got 700 people, but then with the new machinery coming in, we put down to around 480. Then with the redundancies now we're down to about 240, something like that. But the pottery has always been the backbone of the town. Most of the people here belong to the town, there were families from it, there were people were, when there was nothing else going, you know, between in the 30s and the early 40s into the 50s.
Why are we talking talking Eddie about a redundancy rate of that amount. I think that's a huge amount of redundancy.
Well, in the
A
report,
successful industry?
yes, yes. Well, in the report came out, on the advent of our entry into the industry, it was surmised that the pottery industry in this country would be defunct completely. And we were producing big quantities of low quality ware.
Oh.
When the Japanese came, they saw this place couldn't be kept up. So they went in for a high class ware with smaller output. So it would have the market. See, the biggest problem is if you producing too much ware, it's very hard to keep the market going. So at the moment, the biggest market we have is in Maritime. We're doing very, very well. And we thought all new designs, and that's Eternal Blush.
Eternal blush. That's what she oh no. Eternal blush. Okay, well, Tommy, that's okay. Now we'll let it go in a minute. There's the factory works that Tommy gets there. There it says Eternal blush. Not much of she on the yacht in the shop, really. It's lovely to give a nice girl, wouldn't it?
But
All right, Eddie, Masha, we have that. That's the 50th anniversary.
that's the 50th anniversary. That's be presented to you for being so good to the town, and also showing that the Arklow Pottery is 50 years old.
That's on the wall now. That's it up on the wall. Paddy has put some coffee book on Valia. The Urban District Council, is it? Chairman of the Urban Council there. And of course, as you explained, Paddy's also in the choir when you hear him singing as well. Why do we hear him singing now? Why do we hear him singing now? Yeah, go ahead, Paddy.
Når vi legger oss på noen få for hvordan vi har med det and
That's very kind.
and I learned it from Mickey Mother when I was told and I sing it in verse now. That's a ridiculous song like that. On Martin going flying feet the lower sea for us now. On the valley door not far from off the Yanavon. The premium we're not dying will it's the last we're all the hind. It's the hogan or a theatre heaving off the arm. I'm a dinner and more and regan over the dine and blow. They are a brown to grind for a brown to toss and go. Oh, dogged or the time shingles nartar, now he's not dying too. Ah, from a queen and she'd a dying nothing alone.
One of the great Colin Count the Howrah and Bura of Winnel Iri Mach maybe Sheffield North Hawk or something like that. But of course, Paddy, I got news for you. It was written by a Corkman.
That's right. They come out everywhere.
It was written by Michal Og or Lungain, and that's Madden Lone King Peter. That's right. Father Colin Gallagher at Castle of Harry Torchinson in Vermont. Couldn't have courses, Hodgson, of course, I the Hodgson of
Well, as far as I know, we were on over the five Leah started in days and with the Arklow. I was not saying that it was
And what's the future?
the future of it. Well, as Vincent said, I think the fishing is one. I also myself, I've only been in Arklow for about 6 months, I think 7 or 8 months. And I would say that tourism could certainly be developed because the only, 50 miles from Dublin, there's a very large catchment area to come down. And I think tourism could certainly be expanded. The other thing that I have seen and tried to develop in the last parish I was in, where there was close to 70% unemployed. And that is individual small industries, in other words, industries in the backyard.
That's good. That is good. That's another the other opportunity. Scruff will move on and so on.
Tá ach Mastin gur féidir ó an Elianan Níl Samar still will study St. Arklow ach Mastin gur féidir run mar muscles to develop.
That's good. Sure. Good isn't how it's done.
Not féidir in a small chapter chapters.
But I think it will change it deadly, you know, in the party and the egg and the serious hobbies, especially if I put in the most. Let's have to deal with this. I mean, the Spanish, the rest of the world, Indian, they're going to treat us out. I feel that very much.
But the things that like muscles and dead are developed, you know, the Spaniards will not come in to take those. And there is a very big market for those, not only here but on the continent as well.
All right, well, the kind of days for big south taken, they proceed. More of the Arklow Pottery. We'll come back to that pattern due course. Nice piece of wear there. Now, come on out here, Mrs. Susan Button. Just stand out here beside you. Just stand up. Come on, Mrs. Susan Button. There you are. Chat to her. Come on. Now, go around. Take the needles. We'll give the needles to Colin Gallo. Colin now, first of all. Now, this is, you tell me, what is this?
This is the Arklow Fisherman's Gantry.
An Arklow Fisherman's Gantry. And what's special about that now, Mrs. Button?
It's using on 8 small needles from underneath with an iron. And everything is measured by the finger. And when they get up so far, maybe 6 fingers, you divide your stitches and you rise what they call a bore. And that will increase stitches on each side of the main stitch to give more room for working. And then you knit up and you join, you leave those stitches on a spare needle and you knit up your back and your front and you join them on the shoulder and you knit up, you pick up the stitches for your neck and you'll have too many stitches on the neck, so you put what they call a bore in the necking for to decrease your stitches and bring it to the amount you need for your neck.
And you have something under the ox stuff. That means to say you can the gore.
Yeah.
The Country Women's Association, watch me, I'm coming along. Wait, now the lovely thing about this is Stolen Gun and Cathegum go and shake the in piece the one. It's all in one piece. This is single seamless garment. That's what you see on the ad. That's what you on the ad. Oh, there's one other thing. And there's one other thing. Let it hang it down,
This piece here is a turn up clip and put up tight on the mattress in it under water.
That's very handy. It was a little pouch, really.
Yeah.
Is what that was. And that was your own husband.
Oh yeah.
And you knit that for him.
Yeah.
He's down keeping it after.
Yeah.
Anna Khalid. Come on. Anish, hi from Khalid. Anish Maisha. Khalid, the Greenland Whalers would be an appropriate way to end part one of the show. Feli Dirash in Yeg Aisha Scholar with the Greenland Whalers.
Look out
steamer is in the move people being a chocolate fan. If you take an home business from the people is being a what people do. And each time people will shop here, retail of the tiger is criminal.
That's to say you've started with 8 people tonight, that's the one. And here we are, 14 years later, we're 700.
Yeah.
That sounds to me like a great time. Is there a future for it still, John? Is there a bigger future?
Well, I think it's one of the great untapped resources of our country. As you know, Liam, centuries ago this country was covered by natural forests, and as you've already said, they were wiped out over centuries. And in the 30s, we started a very vigorous reforestation program, mostly state-aided reforestation, which has been very successful. Unfortunately, in recent years, that has waned some parts because of lack of funds or whatever. But I think it's a pity that that has happened, because I think it's one of our great natural resources. We are the most under-forested country in Europe, only 5% of our land, and we have approximately 50% national land, which is only suitable for
There's a huge potential there.
huge potential. There's also a huge market. Last year we exported £7 million worth of wood to Britain, and about £2 million worth of wood chips to Sweden for manufactured paper. I think it's grown up not will operate again in Lancashire, but I think there's huge potential there. We have the land. I don't think there's any great point in fighting some of the real battles that we are doing at the moment in oversupply farm products. I think we should be developing this resource, which is very much in underdeveloped. And the EC, for instance, import about £4 billion of Great Britain import about £4 billion worth of wood land, and we have a ready market on our doorstep. So I think we should get up and go. I think it's an area with potential, and as I said, it's a market.
Fantastic. Wat was dat goed ervoor?
Ja.
Was gestarted?
No, Dumbio.
Zoonveld, ja, niet het gaat zijn. Wat dan ook het tradition in de dorp te goed ervoor, especially could ik. Michael Mullis. Michael Mullis, dat hè. Meer van moeder, dat is de Ahirmish. Heb je nog ooit gehoord in Vermont? He has great support for this man's father. He fought hard all this time, is that right? I guess, Michael gets the hook shake going to give us father, so.
The Lord of my brain on the way on, so I just gone and piece of it. I won the course and I forced to go.
I see some mileage you're ready to enforce these questions.
Well, from again, unfortunately, for Forestry and Ireland, because the doctor the door for an empty time moving.
Oh, that's not all the being that talking with people living in Vermont, we said was in a couple son of Jimmy Keane. I was just such curious, could they curious about that?
Holly Green King, Kieran, Neddy played the shop, further pieces of follow, seven Northern Value, he's very allowed to go. Fair more, but he do more on counter on law.
Maybe in Tadian was Michael?
Therefore, from the last regulation side.
Therefore, the cover.
Physics on
Possibility.
Being a winter, the one it over in Oregon, and Hannah has been into the country from my other being a could be on Ireland coming in skilling and his stuff and a woman and she was putting Hannah along will be bored with the young and come up to knock the door and we should see
That's just sort of different from the kid who's developed much in Kilvan County that more in the one shore of the East Coast of East Coast and make it all partnership. What about this example, John Keaton, is it? John Keaton, what's this an example of?
It's a small scale model of one of the famous Arklow Schooners, and it's one called the William Ashburner. And as I say, we've been talking a lot about the Arklow Maritime tradition, and we mustn't forget the Schooners, which for quite a number of years were the mainstay of Arklow and indeed of Ireland over the years in bringing essential supplies into the country. At the turn of the century, Arklow had about 100 trading schooners. The
each employing between 6 and 12 men on board. So between it and the fishing, there was quite a contribution.
Do you
Yes,
make
it is one that it is.
That's your own lake?
Yes, it is one that I built.
Have we lived in Asgard?
And yes, well, the Asgard, I was involved in the construction of the Asgard model as well while I
This
worked
is
with
one of the, I believe, one of the wonderful things is the Asgard. It's got there's a ship on long shore there. It's a beautiful Asgard in full flight, full sailing. Agus some model all in going in John Keir, not Kerry out. John Sweeney, tell us something about it, John. Are you from Arklow? Yeah, what do you do, John?
On the deck. I'm an undertaker. This to me. Always said that to me. He said, you'll be the last man to see me down. Well, Liam, I'm the last man to let anyone down.
I know that. John, but you're chairman, you're some illustrious chairman as well.
And I'm member of the Urban Council, and I'm member of Wicklow County Council.
Yes.
And I'm chairman of the Eastern Health Board this year.
Would an undertaker have a vested interest in being chairman of the health board? Well, John, what about that? And Joe there beside you. Joe, right, the chairs and all that. What about that life? I mean, what about the mercantile life of Arklow? It seems to me you had a catastrophic job, Joe. And you've lost a lot of business now, really. Come on, Joe.
Tremendous loss, John. I like to dwell on the optimistic side myself, like with John O'Halloran there, and Father Gallagher, I think, is the right approach there. Small industries in the future. Back to tourism again, like what we had. And the pottery, please God, maybe it'll grow up again to employ
What she
people.
had, Joe, talk about our from the village, what she had. Summer harding the tones could more the shot on. Is that what you're saying, really?
Hard one of the more ounds contain for more. I mean, I was an ish. How she didn't have.
And his cash she should have the only way.
Yeah. I think, unfortunately, our future, Arklows' future, is in helping ourselves.
I know.
And Ireland's future.
Somebody who helps himself very well is a man who is lovely Harold was. Come on up here, so I have a look at you. Bring it up now yourself. Come on up first. This thing here now is strong enough. Mrs. Button, you hold my this paper there. That thing there now is strong enough to brain a hippopotamus. Arklow. What's the motto, by the way? Muin, Mamara, or Muinin. That, I believe, is the motto of the Arklow Chamber of Commerce. Muin, Mamara, or Muinin. Is it the motto of the Arklow Urban District Council? Urban Council, Paddy? Tasha Shinali, yeah? That's his own. Tasha Shin, how did I get that? Arklow, a Danish name, I think. Mishmash Kadela Tagut. The what? What do you call it? Cadet? Kelly. Turret, Bottis, Nihi, what is it? Nihi is God to me. A strong turret is my God to me. That's what Johnny has. A strong turret is my God. They were laughing with the desertion. August, a little present. Let us see what is a little present. Go to the godly wall, a bit full of, I'll be full of pictures. Oh, Mother Cool, is that my name? That's I love it. Will you say Bina? Will you say Bina? Caddy them da Ochil, Tag Wileish and Mama, or Mother Cool? What is it of the cards? It means strong and bountiful. Enish probably pottery Enish Bahugamoy Tag Show Fashion people in Vermont August Ganal Tashib God than all in Thomas World Time Space, the meeting of the waters. August Diable Lucy Cameron Bogle, Michael McCarthy, a Shilla Hamadou. smelling at all. You see, when a whole of I'm proud on some the sweet vein of a book, it's Tommy Moore at his best, really, but that was face, really. I guess there'll be the bit of answer, the she's in the more than you've on. I guess, you know, are you ever proud of being a Wicklow woman? Of course, what have you got there on that left head?
Everything.
Yeah, like what?
Lovely people.
Yeah.
So much.
Sam.
The beauty thing, we do everything in Arklow.
Baby advertising at the big way.
Yes.
Any free holidays gone down there? No? All right, okay. Should we sit down to them? Now, I must say, just rapidly, I want to say that the Arklow Maritime weekend, they needed the Arklow lifeboat coming up, and first of all, it's a long way away, but there is no doubt about it. Sea Scouts, Shop Stewart and Son, give it to me, too. Shop Stewart, give it to me, too. The Sea Scouts, is it? Of Arklow. And you have a long tradition of Sea Scouting in Arklow, haven't you? That's so long, you're on top of 1,000.
That if there should be scouts in Arklow, there should be Sea Scouts.
Absolutely, yeah. You teach the kids, you do?
Yes, we take an arm of Scout program, Sea Scouts, and Sea program, Catholic Scouts.
August and Son, very soon, the shot,
Captain Myler has been or acting harbour master on many occasions, but I think it's very important to get the message across to people. We are living now with the future for Arklow of our seafaring tradition. And here is a young lady who has achieved wonders, and she's a sea scout.
Sea Scout, what wonders have you achieved, darling? What have you done?
Julie house and Julie.
She walked 1,000 miles. But you should have sailed. You should have sailed 1,000 miles, and she did that for a Saturday. August and Melody, just come up to me, come down, one of you come on quickly, don't hesitate, we're hot for time. August said na gastoga, ni hana, na bono, August came maybe the parents and me were more came in Canada, from here. Oh, so it's my shingle. August again, she shown fun for the upper now? Hey Jamie, well you want to learn this, because that's the trade you need to have an Arklow. All right, very rapidly to wind up tonight. I just want to show that there. A marvellous book, it seems to me. Look at the size of it. The Letters Echo, and it's about the history of the GAA in Arklow. Now, that's fine, Tom. Or, why don't I mean Wicklow, generally Wicklow. Why don't they win more All Ireland after? You'll win it, you'll win it? Okay.
Like the break caught from there.
I got it a bit of day. Okay. Now, here we are. I guess Tommy, the kind of cleanest today here. Mataroli Graf in Vermore. Question Cribbagor. Caddy and Dorf Paddy and Meg on O'Cod Shilashum. Paddy Wadden. Caddy and Captain Gore being a bit. Yeah.
On trio over the and better week.
That's the music?
Arklow music.
Arklow music festival. And what was all music events show the week?
All music events, speech, drama,
all that.
Education. Be careful about counting the numbers in choirs, other groups now, about 5,000. Actually, it's more than a local festival now. It's an international fair, and one which we could consider to be on the basis of a tourist attraction as well. We're very proud.
Oliver, what's your association?
I'm chairman of the Arklow Garden of Ireland Festival, which is another festival that we're running in Arklow, which starts this year in July, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. And a quick word, I know we're running out of time, so if you want to see Arklow Ireland Fest, come down the first week in July.
First week in July. There you are, you're all invited. All invited. Now here beside me is John Hayes, and he's the Lifeboat Association. 40 years, is that so? John, how many lives did you say you had? 30 years. So that would make 100. What makes you do it, John? Go out there and mighty seas.
I don't know.